Master Tech Rob here. Today we're going to do a video on the top 10 tools that will save you time as a professional technician. So let's get started. Alright, first off we got here is a induction heater. I have here is a bolt buster. So this one you can hold on a bolt, it'll get red hot within seconds, under 10 seconds for sure. If it's a big bolt like this, I was doing an Audi axle bolt, not an axle nut, an axle bolt. So this one took a while. I had to hold it down for like maybe a minute and a half. Kind of impacted a little, heated up some more, impacted some more, and I got the bolt out. This thing is very good. It keeps the flame away from anything. So let's say you're working by the fuel tank, you're working with brake lines. This thing does the job. This thing is pretty awesome for seized or rusted brake bleeders. You can grab the smaller coil, put it around there, hold it for a few seconds. They usually come loose very easily. So this highly recommend this if you're doing brakes, brake lines, or hoses on an older vehicle and you know it's going to be rusty. Get one of these out, it'll save you a lot of time. And you know how it is, especially if you're working in a flat rate system, because you don't really get paid for that bolt to be rusty. So gotta watch out for that one. When you buy the bolt buster kit, this one, it came with some coils. I have used a few of them. They burn out over time. They get crusty and crunchy. They kind of break apart and don't work too well. There's an example of one that's, hasn't been used too much, but you can see it. It's getting in the crusty condition. But yeah, they have others. They have a soft wrap that works good for you can use it for tie rod sleeves. That's what I've used it for. You can use it also for wheel bearings. Very good kit to have. I really highly recommend this. I have a couple pliers in the list. Next up is gonna be the Knipex pliers. These are amazing. They bite down really hard. I use this on sway bar links, tie rod ends, even some ball joints where they just want to sit in the socket and spin. This really helps to be able to hold it so you can get that nut off. Alright, next up on the list I have some hose clamp pliers. These ones are Mac Tools one. I really like Mac Tools pliers. They've been very good to me. Previously, I actually owned a Harbor Freight set. That set was actually pretty good. It was a little bit weaker, so if you're a weekend guy and you don't do it that much, or if you're starting out getting into the more advanced jobs, I recommend. The Harbor Freight one's not that bad, but these are really good for helping you be able to take off the hose without actually breaking the nipple that it attaches on, because it could be seized on. So you can get it, twist it, pull it off. All right, next up I have are some hose clamp pliers. This is what the end looks like. You can grab, those big metal clamps that nobody likes. They're always on radiators or heater hoses. These, clamp it, twist it, pull it right back out. So these are a very helpful tool. I use this tool almost daily. A lot of people still use pliers. I really highly recommend getting one of these. It's been a game changer as far as, taking these clamps off. Sometimes a plier works better in certain scenarios. All right, next up I have is a 90-degree drill bit driver. I got this one at, I think, Home Depot or Lowe's. I don't use this that much, but when I do need it, I tell you what, this thing, when you're in a tight space, let's say somebody stripped a water pump bolt, timing cover bolt. This thing comes in handy in being able to extract that out. There's many scenarios where this would come in lots of handy, but any tight fits, this thing really does the job. All right, next up I have a tool that is more for the beginner guys, maybe even intermediate techs if you don't have one. This is a digital tire gauge. So it just snaps on the tire, you can hold it, you can put your air in, you can let a little bit of air out by holding the trigger barely. It has a display on it. This thing's very handy. It helps you get the job done quicker. It's very accurate. I really recommend this tool if you're doing a lot of oil changes. Checking the tire pressure is a very important part in keeping our customers happy. All right, next up I have is a set of hose picks. This is what they look like. They help you pull off, seized corroded hoses. Hoses that are stuck on really tight around the radiator, water outlets, even intercooler boots. These are very handy. You can get it in the boot, move it around, unstick it, help pull it off, grab it with another hand, pull it off. But this thing has saved me a lot of time. So I recommend picking up a set of these. This set, it's a Lyle set. I don't know the part number, but I know Lyle's not very overpriced. They're a reasonable price tool, and they're a very high quality tool at that as well. Alright, next up I have is actually a Snapon Hammer. This is a dead blow steel hammer with a ball peen on one side, flat on the other side. This thing is a little beast for what it is. It's a 32 ounce. It's got dead blow in it, so it's a small hammer, but it comes with a lot more power than what it looks like. This thing really packs a punch. It's easy to use, and a lot more power comes behind it than other hammers. She's definitely seen better days. Part number on this is HBBD32 for 32 ounce. If you go on the website, there's many. This is one hammer that I really it's a $100 hammer, but I actually really like the value of this hammer, and I don't regret buying it like I do on some other Snap-on tools. Alright, next up is your handy dandy air hammer beast. This is a Matco one. It's a 401 shank. Part number is MT2916. Alright, this thing is a beast with the 401 shank. I use it for popping out wheel bearings, ball joints, so I can press a new one in. Popping out CV axles real quick that are pretty stuck in there. This thing is really a beast, and I highly recommend getting one that's a 401 shank. You don't have to get a Matco Tools one, but I mean, this one is very good. It's a lot of money. Ingersoll Rand has some really good ones, and so does Astro Tools. Alright, last but not least, this is my favorite time-saving tool. This is the Snap-on Coolant filler. So this uses your air to blow through it, and it causes vacuum to build in the system. So, right up here. It comes with two hoses. One is your air that blows through it to create vacuum. Then the other is your suction hose. Alright, so how to use this? What you would do is plug your air hose on. You got your valves closed right now. You open the one valve. It's going to blow air through it right here, creating vacuum. And it's just going to blow around, dangle. It's going to create vacuum, go up here into the green. Once it's there, you close it off. Then what I do is I crack this one open a little bit, let some coolant get up into it. When the sun's sitting in the bucket, make sure, obviously you can't get air into it. Close it. Your coolant's right here. I usually suck a little bit more in case I got some air in there. Then I close it off. Then you're ready to fill your system. All your hoses should be flat, just like this. Instead of a circle, they're going to be flat. It's pretty radical looking, that's for sure. So then you just open this. Then you're going to let it suck until your vacuum is going to be all the way back over here. It usually sets at a couple pounds when it's full. And then you just open this up, pop it off, make sure your valves are closed. Then let it drain out the rest of the residual coolant. And then your coolant system's filled. With this tool, you never need to bleed the coolant system because when it does the vacuum, it sucks all the air out. So this is a 10 out of 10 recommend tool. I believe this is one of the best time-saving tools you'll ever have, ever. I've used this on Duramaxes, big coolant systems, 2 thermostats in it. This thing does it perfectly. Never need to bleed your system and barely add more. What I usually do is I'll throw a splash in there. Then it's just perfect. It's perfect level. Everything's good. Cap it and you can run it. No issues. Alright, the part number on this cooling system refiller is SVTSRAD272A. So, highly recommend this. Alright guys, that concludes my video today on the top 10 time-saving tools that you would use as a professional technician. If you guys like the video or have any suggestions, comment down below, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks guys, see ya.